Welcome back to Casa Refined. I'm Jorge. Today I have a very special video for you as I'm going to DIY some large artwork. I'm currently in the living room and clearly I already have an art piece right here, but this is actually a print. I'll link it if you're interested, but I want to create something unique, something original that was really going to help this space. I've been working on this living room forever and I probably will never finish. It's a constant play of changing things around and it's fun. Design's fun. But one of the latest things that I did for the space is I added this taller cabinet. And what this does, I love how it helps balance both sides of the sofa here. Now on this side, clearly there's drapery, but this helps add height. It adds a bit of volume and I think it really works. I still need to style it, but I love what it's doing. This art piece certainly works in here, but I want to add something moody. And the thing about artwork is sometimes it's the first thing that's selected, one of the first things selected for designing a space. It could help influence the direction. It could help, maybe it's the color, maybe it's the texture that helps. It serves as a catalyst basically for a design of a space. Or artwork can also come towards the end to help tie things in together, maybe draw or give a little bit of a punch. I think that's what I want to do here and create a piece that is going to be transitional. It's going to be a little bit modern, but also not boring, maybe boring, I don't know. Hopefully you'll get some ideas from this. Here's what I have in mind. And here's the artwork. So this is actually a 40 by 60 inch stretch canvas. I painted this way back when in high school, one of my first ever paintings, believe it or not. And let me tell you, at the time I was very proud of this piece, although it's not something I would hang up on my walls anymore, but I'm going to paint over it. I know, here. It's gonna be okay though, because one thing about me is that I'm not afraid to paint over my existing artwork. It's something that it lived its life, but it's time for something new. By the way, if you're looking to create some large artwork on a budget, definitely hit up the thrift store. You can often spot some large pieces, framed oftentimes, that you can just paint right over, or hit up your art supply stores, use those coupons or those sales. You can get a really big size canvas at a fraction of the price. So I think right now, it's time to paint over this piece. It's going to be okay, I hope. First thing is, let's go ahead and unmount it from the frame. We'll come back to this frame later. We're gonna reimagine it and make it kind of a more ornate style frame, but let's do the artwork first and kind of assess the frame afterwards. Next up, I am going to basically add, okay, a couple things are going to happen here. So this new art piece is, I think the direction that I'm going is going to be more minimal, more abstract, perhaps more modern. And of course, I want to make sure that there is visual depth, that there's texture. And I'm going to start with some rope. This is just regular, I think it's a poly blend rope that I got from the hardware store. I'm gonna take my glue gun here and basically I started to map out or sketch up sort of a design, but I think I know what direction that I'm gonna go in. So I'm gonna start hot gluing this on here and then we'll come in and add the texture on top. Like I always say, it's always great to have a bit of a rough idea, but I think it's nice to let the artwork guide you, speak to you, influence your next move. Sometimes you just have to start and see where it takes you. It's about the journey, about the process, you know? I won't lie, I was feeling a bit nervous, perhaps even guilty about gluing this on top of my painting, but in the end, I know this is for the best because realistically, this painting was in storage and I would never hang this up, so it's just giving this new life. It's okay. Now at this point, I am ready to add some texture. Now, of course, I can go out and buy just pre-made art texture, but in this particular case, I'm going to revisit a medium that I have been playing around with over the last few years to create something that's lightweight for this piece. Okay, it is the next day and I am ready to apply texture to the piece. I set it aside for now because I will be making my own mix and I will be making paper mache clay. Now, if you're not familiar with it, it's sort of this hybrid between clay and paper mache, as the name says. It's lightweight, it's cost effective, and honestly, it's pretty simple to make. Now, this recipe, I've shared it already in the past, but I'll quickly show you how to make it. The recipe is adapted from Johnny over at ultimatepapermacheclay.com. I'll put the link in the description if you want more information, but it's a really great way to add lightweight texture to this piece. So let's just jump right in. For this paper mache clay recipe, you will need all-purpose flour. You'll also need damp toilet paper, or any paper will suffice, but it needs to be broken down. I will also use water and a strainer to go ahead and remove the excess water. Plus, you will also need pre-mixed joint compound. This is used for drywall. And you will also need Elmer's glue all or any PVA glue. To be honest with you, this is quite simple to do, so I will mix this all up in a large bowl. First up, I will add my Elmer's glue all. This is going to add strength to the mix. Next up, I will take my drywall joint compound. This is going to make it feel more like paste or give it that textural feel. In terms of paper, you can pretty much use any paper. I like to use toilet paper because honestly, it's easier to work with, it's thinner, and it really breaks down easily in water. You could of course use printer paper, recycled paper, newspaper, what have you, but you will probably need to blend it in a blender with some water to really break down the fibers. But like I said, this one is so much easier to do with my hands in the water. Then I will strain most of the water, not all of the water, but most of the water out. I don't want it to be too strained to the point where it becomes hard. It's almost like you want it to be more spreadable, if you will. This might require some trial and error, but honestly, it does not need to be perfect. Just as long as you're somewhat close to the recipe, you'll be fine. Next, I am measuring it all up into my cup here. And of course, we will mix it all together. I think it's best to use a hand mixer. This will of course mix it, but will also help break down the paper fibers. The more you break them down, the better. So I would say at least 10 minutes of mixing, maybe take a break in between. And last but not least, we will add our flour. As seen in the recipe, this can vary. So if you're looking for a more clay-like consistency, you will lean towards the more flour. If you want a more spreadable, fluffier, perhaps lean towards less flour. So this is really going to depend on how you plan to use this. And now we are ready to use our paper mache clay. Special thanks to Johnny for providing this wonderful recipe sourced from ultimatepapermacheclay.com. I will provide details for it in the description. So I got the paper mache clay texture here. We're going to go ahead and start putting it on the canvas. And I'm basically going to cover the entire thing. And then for the inner shapes, I think I might do a contrasting texture, which I'll show you in a moment. I'm just gonna apply it with a putty knife here and just spread it evenly. I'm probably gonna put some gloves on because I'm gonna just spread it with my hands. All right, the texture is on. It's looking pretty good, to be honest with you. It's like frosting a cake almost. At this point, I'm gonna just let this fully dry. It might take at least 24 hours, depending on the temperature. It's a little bit chilly in here, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave it for 24 hours to fully dry, then I'll come back and apply primer, paint, and go from there. All right, folks, it is the next day. It's pretty much dry at this point. There are some areas where I need to go in with some more paper mache clay to fill in some of the gaps, but honestly, it's mostly right here at the top. But overall, it's looking pretty great. So probably what will happen is tomorrow I will prime it and then start adding some paint because I am ready for some color, moody color. But yeah, so far so good. So I let the paper mache clay fully dry, and the next day I applied an acrylic based primer. I forgot to show that on camera, but this will ensure that the paint has excellent coverage as I'm really thinking long term for this project. It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's paint this. I don't like to dive deep into sort of the meaning or the interpretation behind my work on these videos. I'll let you do that, but I will say I think this particular piece, I think color is really speaking to me. Especially red. I think red would be a wonderful choice for this piece. I will be using acrylic paints, and I think the inner shapes, I'm not sure yet. We'll see once I start seeing the red on here. Maybe some burgundy. I think that would be quite interesting. Maybe I might do a play on the primary colors, especially as I start to think about the ornate frame. I'm using a combination of paints that I have on hand. Some of them are more red, some of them have a slight rust undertone. I think the layers of paint is what makes a piece like this stand out. It's abstract, it's minimal, but we want to make sure it doesn't read flat. So the different layers of the red is what really adds vibrance. It adds a moodiness, it adds richness that I think is quite important. So that often requires waiting for paint to dry and then going in with another layer. Really quickly, I want to thank today's video sponsor, us. CasaRefineShop.com is my online store. It's an extension of this right here. And it's this notion of creating a beautiful home, an intentional home with meaning, with pieces that aren't just trending things that you're gonna not want in a year, things that are timeless, things that are of good quality. And of course, I like to source vintage pieces, pre-loved items, new pieces, and pieces that I make myself. Now with the help of my family, it's becoming a little bit of a family thing here. My dad's helping me with the production of the cemento or the plaster pedestal stands, now available in the shorter version. He also makes a lot of the wood pieces and some sculptures that he's been really excited about making himself. I think I get my creative from him, but those will be launching very soon. My mom also helps with the fulfillment of the shop. She loves it. Seriously, like, give her some work. She is happy to package and ship out pieces. She also helps with the production of the cemento pieces that we make. But I just really want to encourage you to take a browse on the shop, find pieces that maybe speak to you, maybe something a bit more rustic, maybe something more modern, pieces that will help make your home feel a little bit more refined. The red is now dry, and I might go in afterwards to just touch up some areas, perhaps give it a more layered look. But let's focus on the inner shapes. The inner shapes, I'm going for blue. Blue, I think, is what's speaking to me for these shapes, and I think it'll complement the red quite nicely, especially as I think about the gold ornate frame. And again, this painting is all about the layers of color, and here I'm going in with a lighter blue to just highlight some of the texture of the piece. Plus, this starts to, I don't know, I feel like the blue is a bit more whimsical, especially as we start to contrast it with the red. It's kind of an interesting notion. I don't want to go in too deep with this, but overall, I think this painting really celebrates color. I think color is such an important part of life and in design, and I think we all need a little bit of color, especially these days. So here is what it's looking like. This is the frame, the wooden frame that I made for the artwork originally. I kind of gave it like a stressed coloring effect, but I want to take it in a different direction, and I still want to use it because, well, I mean, it's already made for that size. What I'm going to do is I want more of that sort of antique, ornate frame look, But right now it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna just apply simple molding. Let me go get it. So this is just simple like trim, I guess. Maybe you would use like on a window or something. And I just have a couple extra pieces laying around from a renovation. And I'm gonna reuse these and glue them onto the frame here. Hopefully you can see, I'll show a close up, but this is going to add a bit of detail, just a bit more ornamentation to the piece. And then of course I will go in and give it that antique, probably gold finish, not so golden, more of like an antique bronze, I would say. I went ahead and finished gluing up the molding, and then I applied some caulking, did some sanding. So now I'm ready to prime it. Before I apply the color, it's looking pretty janky right now, but I think it's gonna work out. I am gonna go and spray this frame with some paint that I already have on hand. So I have some of this metallic, and then I have just a little bit of this satin bronze, which is one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go over it with this first and then lightly dust it with this. And then I'm probably gonna go in with the antiquing wax to give it a more, of course, antique look. You know, it's amazing what a coat of paint can do for a piece, and this frame is already transformed, but it's looking a bit too glam for my taste, so let's give it the antique distress look with some of this. So this is by Metallic Luster. The color is Ice Espresso, and this is going to give it that nice aged look. I'm kind of just rubbing it in with an old rag, and honestly, love it. So let's frame our artwork, and that pretty much does it for this piece. Let's take a look at the final result. Well, here's the final result. I gotta tell you, I absolutely how this piece turned out. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've done so far. You know, it really speaks on sort of the primary colors a bit, and I absolutely love the texture, the moodiness of it all, and I think it's doing something wonderful in here. So I think artwork is such a great way to incorporate some color into a space, and I think it's invigorating me to start incorporating a bit more. So let me know your thoughts on this piece. Let me know if you want to see more art videos from me. And be sure to check out my store, CasaRefineShop.com, to help make your space feel a little bit more refined. All right, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.